Hello there and welcome back to Let's Play Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. I'm the RNGenius, but you may call me Eric, and in the last episode we visited the Divine Syndicate. This appears to be a sect that is devoted to a certain god. They collect a bunch of plants. We found the 3 deadly stolen plants, and we found broken pots from the Kew Gardens, and we took cocaine, or what was probably cocaine. Holmes said it was quite delicious. Now we're gonna go back to Kew Gardens. We have Toby with us, so we're gonna be able to follow a trace, which is gonna be nice. We do have you as a new suspect, the Green Grand Mystic. Weird-ass guy. So now we have all the characters. We have Margaret White. We have Martin Hamish, who we have to talk to still, and Albert Dunn, who we have to talk to still. And we're gonna have to do a little experiment with the ventilation system in the gardens. I should have probably cut all these loading screens apart. Oh well. Now it's too late. Too late into the game already.
Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search,
Toby mode?
Search.
Toby mode activated. This is gonna lead to the ventilation system, I guess. Do. Never mind. I'm sorry. I can't run. Oh, that is already running. Bummer. That's weird.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found.
Huh.
This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
Ah. Can we do an experiment with that yet? Fetch Toby completed. We do have caterpillars with us. Huh. Weird. Let's see what else we have. We have you to talk to about your father. And Montague Dunn.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
We have photograph with father.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father, so it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Yes, talk to Albert.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
Well, what about your Albert Soaps?
And
What
yet
about your...
I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Alright, Albert's humiliation. And... Albert's ambition. Albert's motive. Albert had a motive to kill his father, Montague Dunn. Dunn had thwarted Albert's dream of joining the Royal Navy by killing his father. Albert could have his revenge and eventually succeed in his father's place as the director of Kew Gardens. I don't think this is the... I don't think the Zek did it. Hamish's anger. Martin Hamish hated Montague Dunn, a man who he believed did little work but received all the praise for the success of Kew Gardens. New director. Hamish's motive. Martin Hamish had a motive. He believed that he and his father's lives had been ruined by Dunn, who had taken the credit for all of their work. Hamish wished to take over the directorship of Kew Gardens, but he knew that would not be possible with Dunn still alive. Poisoning. White studies. Never mind. White and Dunn. The money that Montague Dunn regularly gave to Miss White far exceeded the needs of a student. I still don't know what to do with all of those. We don't have the right follow-ups is all. I do want to probably experiment around with that. Which is at Baker Street, unfortunately, so let's go back there. This trip shouldn't take that long, but... What do we have in terms of tasks? Find the plan that was used to kill Mr. Montague Dunn. I'll be doing that right now. Inspect Kew Gardens' staff buildings and gather information on Montague Dunn. I'm still not done with that, so I missed something. Find out who killed. Let's do this.
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. This is the bottle that we found hidden at Kew Gardens. Let us use a pipette to take a sample of the liquid and fill a test tube.
All right. That was quite a lot. That was a lot. You just used up all of it. Why did we use a pipette for that? Next up is... I don't know, man. Ah.
A colorless, water-based liquid.
Let's heat it up. I can rotate that like any day of the week. Inhale.
Quite a strong floral aroma.
Holmes? What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
So what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens.
That is not how you...
Let us determine just what we have found here. Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. I need to take a pipette and make several drops of the reagent.
But there's still that fluid in the pipette. Why didn't you clean it before?
Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Oh. We have white studies and suspicious ingredients poisoning? Set up the experiment. Set up the alkaloid from a chemical laboratory and the caterpillars to perform the experiment with the deadly plants. Where am I going to do that? Right here, perfect.
According to the deadly plants information, in order to perform our experiment, we will need fertilizer and food. Caterpillars should do nicely. According to the deadly plants information,
fertilizer. What? Inspect the buildings, find out who killed, set up the alkaloid from the chemical laboratory, and the caterpillars perform experiment with the deadly plants. What do I need?
According to the deadly plants information, in order to perform our experiment, we will need fertilizer and food. Caterpillars should do nicely.
So we do not have the fertilizer.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
That's the only thing I still gotta do. Is the fertilizer gonna be here? Can we take the cocaine as fertilizer? I'm missing something. I probably ran by a clue at some point, which is a big problem because there was a lot of area to walk by. Do I take the cocaine as fertilizer, or is that just for the humans? Drug table. Anything else back here? Those were my caterpillars. I examined all of this shit. There's nothing in here. Something back here. We didn't actually do anything with this area back here yet. We picked a lock, but we only found opium and opium smoking. Ah.
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment.
Okay. So I did have to come back here. Good. Why didn't you take that beforehand? He usually does that kind of thing. I mean, he took the caterpillars before as well, not knowing that he'd ever need to use caterpillars for anything. Perfect, Watson. Oh, you're still waiting at the beginning of the area. You didn't hear anything, so I just talked to myself, huh? Bummer. Alright, let's perform an experiment, shall we? What do we get?
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
Alright. I'm gonna take Diabolica. Put it back. What do we get? Pin. Put that into the Diabolica.
No reaction.
Well, I don't know, man. What are we doing here?
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
And now we poke it.
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more.
What do we get here? That's the caterpillars. Can I... What can I do with the caterpillars? That's so nice. That is so nice. Let's
It
add...
appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
So these little guys are gonna probably die to a poisonous attack.
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this...
Dude, stop what you're doing. I'm gonna poke you, and you're gonna go away.
It appears to have fallen inactive after being disturbed.
I'm gonna have you open up.
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
I am going to poke you, so you don't eat my caterpillar. And then I put caterpillars on... Alright, what happens if I put alkaloid on you?
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid.
What happens if I just feed you?
I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating.
Okay, why do we have you here?
My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack.
Well, what happens if I do this?
How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it.
Huh? What happens if I drench you in alcohol?
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. No reaction.
We only have the pin, the alkaloid, and the whatever. I can swap you guys. So I could put the caterpillars
This plant
on.
seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars.
Why? Well, that was quite the reaction.
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary.
Nice plants.
The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
Yeah, let's. What do we got here? Deadly precision. It was a complex process to prepare the deadly plans. The plan combination had to be placed close to the victim and triggered at the precise moment. Sect's scheme. The Divine Syndicate left the plans at Kew Gardens in order to murder Montague Dunn at a later date. Sect is not involved. Someone stole the deadly plans before the Syndicate, Divine Syndicate, were able to. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Albert and White have a strong motive. Miss White. Let's look at this. What do I got? I got all of the nothing is to be explained there. Can go down to Kew Gardens. I mean, the guys, the sect guys are extreme weirdos, but I don't think they'd commit murder over their goddamn plans. I don't think so. I don't think that's what happens, but they do make a fine, like, it's easy to frame them for the crime, or not frame them. They weren't exactly framed. At first, the crime didn't seem like a murder at all. I don't know. I don't know. Not yet. It's not clear. So what did we want to do here? I don't know. What's our task? Inspect staff buildings and gather information on Montague Dunn. Find out who killed Mr. Montague Dunn. Find out how to stimulate the deadly plants in the Colonial Collection. Before performing the experiment in the Colonial Collection room, talk to all suspects about the day of the murder. First, Montague Dunn information. I didn't get everything here. A couple of boots. His alcohol has been examined. Photograph has been examined. A bust. I did not look at his goddamn desk.
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
New plant species! The Kew Gardens team are pleased to announce the successful production of a new variety of barley, one that retains a complete resistance to the cold. They have named it the Siberian barley. Mr. Martin Hamish, the proud cultivator of the graft, will hold a press conference next Monday morning about this very subject. My dearest Margaret, following our last conversation, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. As you pointed out quite bluntly, you are no longer in need of my support. You are quite able to stand up for yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom, and wish you nothing but good luck. Gather data completed. White's expulsion. White and Dunn. Disagreement. Miss White and Mr. Dunn had a recent disagreement. Montague Dunn was planning to release Miss White from her position at Kew Gardens. Before we ask her about that, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And I hope I will see you in the next episode as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next episode as well. Until next time, bye-bye.